Hello, people. We are back. A2TP podcast, episode 223, and we are back. It's your boy, International Walk.
It's your girl, Tasha, co-host with the mostest.
And we are back for another episode of us. Y'all know the platforms that we are on: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, Podchaser, Google Podcasts, and Player FM. Y'all see us on them platforms. Type us in. Fuck with us. We fuck with y'all. Let's get right to the show. How are you?
I'm good. Mentally, I'm a little tired, but I mean, I'm gonna say I'm a 10. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong. No drama. No, I feel good. Yeah, so I'm gonna say I'm a 10. I don't want to conjure nothing up, think of nothing that's not good. Finance is an 8. Thank God. From all whom blessings flow. Work is a 9. It's good, but it's busy. But it's one of my coworkers said yesterday after we had a crazy day, she felt like a wrung out towel. I was like, it's a good description. But work is good.
Old head shit.
Well, you know what? She is a little bit of an old head. And then this is my note that my baby always gave me before the show. And then physically, I'm a 9. I feel good, but making it to the gym, I'm going to do better and like making sure my schedule allows me to. The only time it really won't is like if I gotta leave the house really, really early and gonna be back late. But when I do have some time in the morning, it felt good really going to the gym this morning, just knowing that no matter what else happened the rest of the day, that was done. Mentally, that felt good. So, but physically, I'm a little tender in some places, but overall, I feel good. So no complaints.
Awesome.
How are you?
I'm good. I would say mentally, I'm a 9. Yeah, nothing worth talking about there. Finances, I would say an 8. Always going to be an 8. Just looking for God to be a blessing to us so we can be a blessing to others. And so we can enjoy the fruits of our labor. Work, I would say is a 9. Work is good. Work is just the end of the job kind of runs itself. Mm-hmm. So happy about that.
Is that indicative that you did a good job at the beginning if the end ends up good?
Sometimes, yeah, because at the end can be a fire drill of, little details that you may have missed, depending on who you're working for.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so yeah, it's kind of indicative.
So kudos to you.
Can't celebrate till you get to the finish line, because shit still can go wrong. Physically, I feel like a 9. I did not make it to the gym today. I had some running around to do. Had to go get a haircut. Had to go to Home Depot, get some shit. So yeah, I just had some things to do.
But you've been doing amazing.
I will
making
be
it
back there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wows and woes, ups and downs, stops and goes, blacks and whites, niggas and whites.
Wow. Just making it another week again. Nothing spectacular other than breathing and living and seeing and 7 more days in the books, and I'm grateful for that. So that's spectacular. And then woes, I don't have any again, and I'm grateful for that. Yeah, I'm extremely grateful for that. No bad news, no, again, no drama, no chaos. So it's peace.
That's peace.
That's peace. Yeah, what about you?
No woes. Yeah, nothing. Like I said, yeah, no woes at all. Mm-hmm. Wows is just to piggyback on yours. Just happy to be alive another week. Happy to be alive without drama in my life another week. Happy to be alive another week without arguing with you, without bickering with you. Works fine. Yeah. Yeah. Just happy. Just grateful. I would say not happy, just grateful.
Yeah. I just wanted to point out, your mustache looks great. I know you went to the barbershop today, and I know, you hate when it's like over your lip, but like usually when I look at your haircut and I think like, wow, you have a really nice haircut, it's usually like your line around your beard and stuff, but like looking at you from the side, it's like, Wow, your mustache looks really good too. I never really paid attention to the mustache part.
I guess I appreciate
And
that.
it looks good.
I guess I appreciate. I've never been complimented on a mustache.
Yeah.
I don't think that's never been the focal point of my face, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, I guess like sitting from the side and seeing like how it's cleaned up top and cleaned around the bottom. I mean, I guess that it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah, I mean, it feels good not to have the heaviness
the
on your
whiskers and
lip
stuff. Yeah,
and up your nose itching all day.
it looks great.
So yeah, we talked about this story with Carmelo Anthony with a K. Well, he is out on bail. His bail was reduced from $1 million. This kid was a young black kid in Texas who stabbed a twin at a game at school.
A track meet
At school over a seat. I think the white kid had told him he wasn't supposed to be in a section. At least that's what the reports are saying. And somehow, some words ensued and the white kid ended up getting stabbed in the chest and died. Lots of things are coming out about this story, but one of the facts that came out was his bail was reduced and he was let out with an ankle monitor. I again, as this story is coming out in the little dribs and drabs of information, I still don't see how you can stab somebody, and like it seems like everybody's on this kid's side, like, hey, get off, you shouldn't be in jail. This is Texas, which we know how they are in Texas, but I have yet to see why is he not wrong?
Well, I mean, again, I'm not
If
saying
it's
I'm
just
wrong.
because I know we talked about this and you said it was the charges, so it was like first degree murder and the intention. I get that if it should be dropped to manslaughter or something like that, but it seems like if you read the comments and look at the energy that's surrounding this case, it seems like everybody's like, free him. He should be off.
So when you mentioned,
I just don't get it.
Is Texas a stand your ground?
Yes.
So
just like Florida is.
Okay. So I don't know, like, the situation. If he was getting beat up and he was like needed to defend himself, then that might be the premise in which somebody says, he defended himself. Now, they say you don't bring a knife to a gunfight, or you don't bring a gun to whatever. Maybe somebody might say, okay, it was a fight, get beat up. But again, if this is a state that says we have a stand your ground law, you can defend yourself if you're in danger, then the legal premise may be he was in danger because he was really getting beat up, and that's how he defended himself. Is it right? I don't.
So maybe I'm not understanding the state that stands your ground. Like they kind of maybe that's the wrong word, but I can't think of a better one. They kind of celebrate that. Like if you have
defending yourself,
stand your ground case, and they rally behind that, because maybe most of the comments are people coming from Texas, and it's like, hey, this is our thing. If somebody fuck with you, you can stab them. You can protect yourself. You can beat them to death, stab them to death, shoot them to death. That's what it is here. Outside looking in from Pennsylvania, and right is right and wrong is wrong. If somebody tried to jump you, I understand you defending yourself, but you defending yourself to a point where you kill somebody, I don't see you getting jumped as your life is in danger. Or am I wrong in that?
You can get jumped really bad. Somebody stomp you, kick you in the head or something, and maybe not kill you, but you could be severely hurt.
Okay, that's plausible.
So, I mean, and again, I don't know if, like the whole "you're in the wrong section" was that like with some racial undertones?
I don't know. More stuff is coming out about the story because they keep just having little paragraphs and not a lot of detail. The only new thing is his bail was reduced.
And he was let out. Now, I also did hear from another show that, I can say we watch. You watch it primarily. I love to watch it when I can. But they said the money that was being raised on GoFundMe shut it down and refund. But I think the family still found some way to collect those funds. I mean, because if he got out on that money, on the bail, I think it was reduced from $1 million to $250,000.
Yes.
So I don't know if the
that's
family
a house
had I was gonna say I don't know if they had the money, if they raised the money, or if somebody put their house up. But
the house would be the fastest way because you have to show where you got the money from in Bell now. So
well, I mean, that's assuming they own they have a house of that value. But or it could have been somebody else who did it for them. Who knows? Or a couple different people, right? Because you can collectively do that,
put
right?
Your houses up, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think killing somebody as a result of a fist fight is horrible. I'm not of the mindset that he shouldn't face any charges. I don't know if it should be like 3rd-degree murder versus first, because maybe it was like, okay, again, he was getting beat up and he pulled out the knife to get him off of him, and he was trying to defend himself. He was trying to hurt him in the matter of the fight because of him losing, but the intent wasn't to kill him. But you also have to be of the mindset, you stabbing somebody
in the chest,
you could kill them.
Yeah. Like those are vital organs there. I mean, I've understood and I've seen situations where people get poked in the leg or stabbed in the hip or maybe even in the gut just to get somebody up off you. But I'm just looking at it as person comes to fight you, even, you fight back. But if they come with a weapon, then you have a weapon. But I just don't understand that if it stands your ground, if somebody comes to give you a fade or a fight, and it's fair between y'all, you are able to pull out a knife or a gun and just kill them.
In those states,
that's
look at
fine.
Trayvon Martin. That man, what was his name?
George Zimmerman.
It said he felt that he was in danger, so he shot him. Like,
yeah,
there was never any weapon. He just felt that he was in danger and he shot him.
The Trayvon Martin thing was actually, they had a fight. Like him and Zimmerman had a scuffle, a fist fight, and he said Trayvon was on top of him and he felt threatened,
and he shot him.
Yeah.
So in this case, and again, I don't know if that's the logistics of the fight between Mr. Anthony and the gentleman who was murdered.
So
but if it's the same thing,
yeah.
and he on top of you, beat you up, and you pull out a knife like, get off of me.
It's just crazy to me that somebody loses a son and it just seems like, hey, everybody rally. And again, with more come out about this story, I don't want to seem like I'm dissing this kid or I'm not on his side. It's just, damn, he killed somebody. Like somebody's son died. Like who pays for that? So and it was just a fight. It wasn't like they came with knives. It wasn't like they came with guns. It was.
Well, we know in this day and age, unfortunately, look at how many people get shot because of them arguing with somebody, or they get in a fist fight and somebody pull out a gun. Like people, a fair fight done went out the window decades ago. People don't even believe in that, which is so sad. But let's flip it reverse. If it was your son, if Mr. Anthony was your son and this happened, what would you like to see happen?
Well, I mean, it's my son, so I'm going to have a biased opinion of, I don't think I would want him to go to jail for life. I do understand your point in saying, okay, maybe he shouldn't be charged with 1st-degree murder because he didn't wake up in the morning saying, I wish a motherfucker would today, I'm going to kill somebody. So I get that. If everybody was rallying around, hey, why this kid got 1st-degree murder charges, cool. I'm on that side. But if it's just like, hey, why y'all locking him up? Then it's like, ho. I thought killing people was wrong. Even if it happened with Trayvon and George Zimmerman, I thought that was wrong. I thought he was supposed to go to jail for that shit.
But again, and
if it was my son, I wouldn't want him to go to jail for life, but I wouldn't want him to not pay for killing somebody. Like I wouldn't want him to carry that the rest of his life to think that, I killed somebody, like stabbed him in the chest violently, and I just walked. I just got away with it. Would you want your kid to just get off? After somebody else's kid died? I mean,
I don't think I would advocate for my child to go to jail, but I also don't think that if they didn't go to jail that they would feel, if I knew that my kid wasn't that type of person, to just feel like, I got off.
Well, I don't think I would advocate. I think you're putting words in my mouth.
No, I didn't say you did.
I wouldn't advocate for him to like, hey, you should go to jail.
No, I'm saying, you asked me, I'm saying I wouldn't advocate for him to go to jail. If he did go to jail, I probably would be more of the mindset of trying to fight to, get the least time possible. So either third degree or involuntary manslaughter or something like that. But if there is a loophole, a legal loophole, not even legal loophole, I don't want to say that. If there is legal precedent that can say, okay, this was self-defense and he shouldn't be charged, I can't say I wouldn't be of that in agreement with that. But I don't think that I would think that my child would go through life thinking that he got away with something. I would be more worried about his mental health of how is he going to handle this knowing he took a life.
Because right. That's what I was saying. I don't know if I worded that right, but that was my whole point. Is his mental and thinking that not it's okay, but I took this life, I have this guilt, and like there was no punishment for it, like nothing.
Well, I wasn't thinking that it was no punishment. I'm just thinking straight up, I took a life and I feel bad about it.
Right.
Even if you do go to jail, I still would be worried about how is that good. Even if he went to jail for 5 years and got out, I still would be worried about his mental state and going through, just like if it was me or you. We're not killers.
No.
God forbid we had to defend ourselves. We would do what we needed to do, and if it resulted in that, the weight that would burden us with. So
but
I would be more.
You say that biasly. Like let's flip it. If it was your son who was bullying and got killed, got stabbed in the chest, would you have the same energy? Like, hey, your son should get off?
No, I was just speaking if the Mr. Anthony was my son. If it was my son.
So why can't you look at that situation objectively? Why does it have to be with bias in it? Like if it's two kids, if I was in that kid's shoes or this parent's shoes or that parent's shoes, why can't it be an objective thought without?
Because
bias?
I don't think
neither one of them are our kids, so why can't we just?
Well, I'm just saying I was looking at it from the perspective of being my kid who killed the gentleman. Now, on the other side of my son who got killed, I think I would want him to go to jail, but I don't know if I would want him to like do life. But then again, I could.
Would it be something that's forgivable because your son was the bully? Like it
Possibly.
Came out that it was like, hey, your son was the ruckus starter. He started this, and it was fact.
I don't know. That's hard. I think the emotions of losing your child. I think over time, somebody maybe. I mean, but with their family, they said they forgive him already.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, for others, it may take you a while to get there, and for some, they may never get there. I can't even speak to that because I don't know.
I want to hear more about this story. I just want to hear more about it. I don't want to say nothing bad about Carmelo. It's a shame he felt like he had to be put in this situation, but more to come. To be determined. I couldn't think of the letters.
TBD.
TBD.
Yeah.
I was about to say DTB. What was you talking about the Maryland man who was deported to El Salvador by mistake?
Yeah, so here's the deal.
I had heard about this story, but you have more information.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had told me about it months ago when it first happened, when like all the ICE raids were going on. And it was just like, okay, they deported him. But you kind of just thought like, all right, when they realize it's a mistake, they're going to bring him back home because like you can't do this, right? But now...
Why El Salvador?
Well, so this is the thing.
Like he's not El Salvador.
He is.
He is?
He actually is an El Salvadorian citizen. He was in the U.S. illegally. In 2012, he walked across the border illegally, but he's been living here. He's married. He has 3 children. In 2019, he had gotten into some trouble or whatever, like...
Some police contact.
Yeah, some police contact, and they they basically were going to deport him. He appealed the decision a couple times, and first his appeal was denied. And then finally, they agreed to withhold the deportation, meaning, he could stay here. They wouldn't deport him. They issued him a work permit to be here in the U.S. So technically, he came here illegally, but then it was like, okay, we know you're here. And I mean, it's kind of like now you're here legally because we're giving you permission to work here.
Yeah,
so the government kind of put their foot in their mouth with that. They said that he was accused of being a part of MS-13, the El Salvadorian gang. Mm-hmm. No evidence.
One of the worst gangs in the world.
No evidence. It was just hearsay. An actual informant gave his name or something, but they had no proof, no evidence. He's never been convicted of any crimes, gang related or otherwise.
But that just means he could be the top dog.
Well, so they deported him.
Mm-hmm.
Now the U.S. government, Trump's administration, admits it was an administrative error. They didn't mean to.
Right.
But they are not sending him back, which is just like the El Salvadorian president said. First of all, Trump said, even if we wanted to tell him to send him back, he can't. And it's like my mind is thinking, what did y'all do to him? And it's not like y'all just sent him there and said, you can't be in the U.S. anymore. We're sending you back. And now you're back in El Salvador. He's in prison. But there were no charges. He didn't do anything wrong. Mm-hmm. So that's the administrative error where, okay, again, y'all didn't just send him back and say, you go back there, make your life there, find your way there. He's in prison. His family has had no contact with him. And also, Salvadorian president said, no, we're not sending him back. So now, it made me think, it's almost like you getting in trouble for a crime and the government saying, all right, we know you were bad, but we're not going to lock you up. We're going to, as long as you maintain good behavior, you can stay free. And then somehow or another, they make a mistake and end up locking you up. And then they say, oh, well, we're just going to keep you here. And it's like, but y'all told me that I could stay and I didn't have to.
You didn't make a proper a plea or Alfred plea or whatever that says that you get an immunity or anything like that. So it ain't no paperwork. It's just something that they said. It's not like in writing that says, hey, we're just going to look the other way. Yeah,
but it's like, okay, even if he's there, let the man out of jail so at least his family can talk to him. Or maybe his wife is a U.S. citizen.
I'm sure she may have made...
No, because he's in prison.
I know, and they don't know where he at. So that's another thing.
And they could, if at least you said, okay, he can't come back here, but we'll let him out of prison because he has no criminal charges, no reason to be in prison. It's just hearsay that he's a gang member, but no proof. At least if y'all let him out of prison, who knows? His wife might make a decision and say, we packing up and we going home. We going to El Salvador with daddy. Maybe, but she don't even have that choice because he's there. He's in some prison, no contact. They may never hear from this man again.
And at the very least, they can say you crossed the border illegally. So that's
but once he did that, y'all knew it, and y'all said, okay, we're going to withhold deportation. We're going to give you permission to work. That was 2019, 6 years ago.
You think that shit can't go away, though, Tosh? When you talking about this level of government and what they're trying to do, you think that shit can't go away?
It just makes me, I don't want to say afraid, but it makes me leery. Like, God forbid let's say.
Well, you know what's crazy? I'm at the job the other day, and it's a space called Lucky Vitamin. And they moved out a while ago, but their alarm is still on. So every time I work near or in this space, the alarm goes off and the police come. So I'm, working the other day. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was in Lucky Vitamin probably an hour ago. And sure enough, I'm working, and I hear walk. And I turn around, and it's 3 cops. And I'm like, yeah, like, what the hell did I do? And they're like, this alarm keeps going off. And I'm like, here's the make this guy number. You got to call him. But I go around to my job, and everybody's gone. And I got Spanish concrete guys that's working, Jamaican glass guys that's working, and Turkish painters that's working also. They cleared the job out completely. And when I showed my face again, I'm like, where's everybody at? And like 10 minutes later, the trickle of them start to come in, and all of them said to me, who the fuck were they? What was that about? Like, we thought that was ICE. Even the Jamaican dude was like, yo, bro, like, was that ICE? I said, no, they were regular fucking township cops. The alarm went off. The Jamaican guy was like, fuck that. But I'm thinking, damn, like, you don't want to go back to Jamaica. No, like, that's crazy. Like, because they don't. No, I know that. Babe, it all clicked in, but it was just like, I'm dying to go to Jamaica, and you don't want to go to Jamaica. Like, that's crazy.
But okay, just imagine this: if ICE came, picked up those guys from Jamaica, grabbed you. Listen. listen, just flow with me. Grabbed you. You got locks. When you in Jamaica, they call you Rasta all day, every day while we're there. And you telling them, no, like my ID. And they just like, let's go. We ain't trying to hear none of that. To the point where they put you on a plane and send you. They're not sending you to a beach. They're sending you to a jail somewhere in Kingston. And you're like, no. Like, and they say, oh, we made a mistake, but, you know, it is what it is. Now, you are a U.S. citizen, so they, you know, at some point would have to send you back.
I think my shit will be sent up, be done up quick once I hit embassy, because I'm carrying 7 pieces of American ID on me. You hear his accent, you hear mine. I'm not from this place. I don't give a fuck what I look like. You can
say all that, and what if they ignore? You don't think
You're right.
Mr. Garcia was saying?
I just said at this level, anything can happen with that government and what they're trying to do. So,
and again, thank God you are a citizen. It's not like I got you from Jamaica and we have some issues, but. So you would, you know, they probably would have to send you back. But let's say that took 3 months. For all the paperwork and them to say this, oh, we got to organize and we got to orchestrate that. Like, let's just say that took 3 months to get you. Let's say that took 30 days to get you back here.
Why would you think it took? That got me stuttering.
Because
I don't think I can do 30 days in the jail.
In a Jamaican jail. No. Because Trump ain't getting on the phone real fast to be like, hey, can you turn that plane back around and drop back off Mr. D's? We made a mistake. First of all, he don't even want to admit that he made a mistake.
Well, obviously, that's not going to happen when you think about it. Like, that type of mistake, that type of rectifying can't happen in 2 days. Can't happen in 3 days.
So what if you're there for 30 days? You come back, you're going to be livid.
Yeah, but I think I got a leg to stand on with a good lawyer. They're going to give me some money. At 30 days, better turn into $300 million.
You got a lot of faith in the government.
I don't. I'm just saying, the government will kill you. You can't make with so much noise.
They said, we brought you back, we rectified the mistake, you're fine. Like, chill out.
Yeah, but y'all took me on a plane over to another country and left me there in their prison. Like, what if I got Jamaican raped or something?
Or let's just say too, God forbid, I'm not gonna put this on you, but Mr. Garcia, let's say he gets killed or something in prison. And the crazy thing is, he was never supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And again, if y'all say he wasn't supposed to be in the U.S., we had to deport him, let him go back to his city, his town.
But don't be in prison.
Yeah, in prison, there's no crime that he is accused of. That's just sad.
There's no gang crime. He did cross the border illegally.
Yeah, but that's a U.S. crime. He didn't commit. They don't have any record of him committing a crime in El Salvador.
Right.
So,
they're just holding him because they think he's from El Salvador. He's from MS-12.
MS-13.
MS-13.
It's 12, just 13, that's just 14. Sad. So talking about entry into the U.S. and all that stuff and citizens. So do you know how many? First of all, I thought was interesting. Do you know how many countries are in the world? Like just countries.
A couple hundred.
There's 195 countries in the world. It's actually 193. Including and they are all part of the United Nations, and there's 2 non-member observer states, which is the Holy See and the state of Palestine. I don't know why. Well, I know why they exclude them. So let's just say it's 193 countries. So of those, only 42 are part of a visa waiver program where they are allowed to enter the U.S. for up to 90 days without a visa. They are required to, be in an electronic system for travel, prior to travel. So again, it's just these nationals of these 42 countries are not required to get a visa for tourism or business. Now, of course,
so people can come here to the U.S. for tourism?
Only from 42 countries.
Okay.
But again,
out of 193.
Exactly.
So from them countries, them the people we see in Times Square looking around like they never saw lights.
Possibly, yes. So you're talking about 22% of all the countries in the world, those people are eligible to come here.
Okay.
All right. However, 31 countries. So out of that 193, only 31 of them require the U.S. to have a visa to visit them. So all of those other 162 countries allow us to come in. We don't need a visa, but we don't allow 152 countries to come here without a visa. So Namibia, an African country, they decided, oh, guess what? Y'all want our people to get a visa to come to your country? From now on, y'all need a visa to come to our country. So just think about what if other countries get on board because of this administration and the disdain and the chaos and the, bitterness that is being caused amongst nations. Just imagine if like Jamaica, now every time we go, we gotta apply for a visa and pay for it. Mexico, well, we're probably never going back to Mexico, but Mexico or any country we want to visit, you can't just buy a ticket and go. You gotta go through the whole and when you apply for a visa, we watch all those shows when you get to the other countries and they interview you. If they don't like your answers, they could be like, nah, we're going to decline this visa and send you back home. So vacation paid, so what? Whatever month, so what? Nah, we just, you smoke weed, you have a, previous criminal record, although it was dismissed. And we don't think that, we don't think that it's good for you to come to our country. They might say, you have an adult child, but y'all don't have any young children. Y'all might be trying to come here and stay and never go back home. They could find any reason to deny us and just cause that hassle that the U.S. causes for so many people. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just all being caused because of
who the president is.
Yeah,
who he
and the unsettledness that he's causing with these other countries. So Namibia is just one. It's a black female president there, and she made this decision. And I'm hoping that not too many others jump on board there. That's pretty that
makes me a little weary because she's female, and I'm not saying she's not a strong president, but in those countries, female presidents can be pressured into doing things that they don't want to do. So I'm glad that she stood on business to say, hey, y'all treating us like this, we're going to treat y'all like this. But I hope that she can hold that position and not let men of power be like, nah, fuck that. After 2-3 weeks, dead that shit. Go back to normal.
Right.
So yeah, I hope she can stand on business with that. But talk about disrupting what did you say? I totally forgot. But it was in the vein of disrupting stuff. Wallow had a speaking engagement over the past week somewhere, and a clip came out, and it disrupted a lot of people. A lot of people had mixed opinions because there were some things said in the clip about black businesses. And I picked 3 things out of the clip that was poignant to me. One was the finesse, the play that it is of today. I'm going to believe a Wallow who is outside shaking and baking, moving and grooving and with these businesses, for him to say that it's a play now for people to say, hey, let me get a black business and support me just because I'm black, and expect people just to rally around you because you're black or you have a black business, and just what the times are. 2, I thought it was poignant that he told all the entrepreneurs in the room, hey, all of y'all not gonna make it. And I think that I want to know what your thoughts is about that. If you have 100 people in the room, everybody in here not gonna win. And I think people need to know and accept that. Also, the last thing, what was the last thing I wanted to say? I forgot that quick. But speak about them 2 things while I
Well, I mean,
what I wanted to say.
The whole finesse. What grinds my gears about this conversation is that, and maybe they do have it amongst their own. It's why are we always on the internet? I don't want to say airing our dirty laundry, but what happened to correcting your brother and sister in private from a place of love, right? We don't hear this rhetoric amongst Asian-owned businesses, and they support their own. They will not buy anything outside of their community. They'll go to the Asian banks, the Asian doctors, the Asian lawyers, and you don't hear, they may have their preferred ones in their community, but you don't hear this rhetoric. You don't hear this from the Italian communities. You go down near Fishtown area, and it's the Polish bank, the Polish cleaner, they support their own. I'm just tired of us always talking about us in a negative light. Not to say it's not true. I'm not saying that it's not true, but it's like, come on, like, I think this could be approached from a different way. I do agree that there are finessers in business, black, white, Italian, Asian, Indian, scammers all over of all nationalities. The you're not gonna make it. I think that's a no. I don't know the percentages or anything. That's a known fact. It reminds me of going to college. I'll never forget sitting in the lecture room and they like, look to your left, look to your right. One of y'all ain't gonna be here, ain't gonna be here at the finish line. And when you're there, because I was there, you're thinking, damn, that's a shame because it ain't gonna be me. And it was me. I mean, I don't know who else it was, who was to the left and right, but I wasn't at the finish line. So that's like a wake up call. For some people, hopefully it doesn't discourage them. And just because you're not going to make it with whatever you're doing right now, that doesn't mean don't try again and try again and try again. But that's a very real wake up call that a lot of people probably need to hear, because it's a known thing about, being an entrepreneur, small or large.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now in this day and age, social media makes entrepreneurialism seem like it's so glorified. Like so many people don't want to have a 9-to-5, and that ain't an easy life. Entrepreneurialism ain't for everybody.
You might want to go back to a 9-to-5. You might be working 15 hours a day trying to get your business right.
Not only when you got a 9-to-5, guess what? Every week or every 2 weeks that paycheck is coming in. When you have a small business, it just may not be. Or you can still have your small business and maybe have a 9-to-5 until you get to where you want. But so many people turn their nose up at, it's like this not wanting a boss or not wanting anybody to tell you what to do. And hey, if you get to that point where you can live that life, then great. But I think so many people go and thinking it's a sure shot, and it ain't. So him saying that, I think, is hopefully stuck with a lot of people, and they realize, like, I gotta be real with myself.
I'll let you land.
I'm good.
The last part of your take, I do agree with, as far as people need to know that everybody not gonna make it. What I don't like about your take is what I think a lot of black people do is when we're called to the carpet about shit, even if it's true, we want to take the soft edge to say, why can't you put the medicine in the candy for us? And we're talking about us. And it's like, I don't like, and also when people say, we're specifically talking about black businesses, but people will say, hey, it's businesses, there's white businesses, Chinese businesses, all business who do bad. Yes, that is true. That's almost like when people say Black Lives Matter, everybody was saying all lives matter. To me, that's what that feels like. We're specifically talking about black businesses, and some of them are shitty. Some of them are great, but it's nothing wrong with saying, hey, these businesses are bad. If Asian people don't call their people to the carpet, or white people don't call their people to the carpet, maybe that they're not doing that because they feel their businesses are ready. Their businesses are okay. It's a possibility, whether you think so or not. It's a possibility that's true. And a lot of times we've been in black establishments. We want to support black businesses, but because of my black experience and how I grew up, I've been in black establishments where I know walking in, this is a sham. This is a piece of shit. And it's okay to say that. And I've also been in black businesses, Jordan Johnson's, where we sat down and ate and the vibe was great and everything was cool on the up and up. Food was great, price is great. We went there a ton of times, but I don't want to be obligated to spend my money with a black business just because it's a black business, or just because you think you should have my support. Like, no, I want your food to taste good. I want your product that you're trying to sell me to be on the up and up. And sometimes if you're not ready, then maybe you're not ready to open up. Maybe it'll take 6 more months and you open up too early and you don't have the right cooks, or shit is slow, or you can't process an order. It was too early for you. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you shouldn't have the business, but a lot of times these are when these businesses are introduced to us in their infancy stage, and a lot of shit is going wrong. And maybe if the process just was a little bit longer, then maybe you can present yourself in a better way where you don't get this pushback. But I feel like if a business is shitty, white, black, purple, Chinese, whatever, it should be called out. And it shouldn't have to be spoon fed. Not all the time.
I feel you, and I'm not saying you should feel like, oh, I gotta spend my money just because they're black owned. But I just feel like what he's saying, it ain't nothing that people ain't already heard of. What I would have loved
The finesse part I didn't know. And again, like I said,
you didn't know that people finesse people?
No, I'm talking about the way he said it, the way I interpret it, like to a person, like I said, he's out there with these business. He done made businesses big. So I take it like a grain of salt when he say, hey, y'all got to get y'all shit together. But for him to say it's a finesse thing, like it's a play now. So I'm going to get this little business, and because of the wave of support black businesses, I'm going to have all these expectations and think that my shit should work. Even if I have a 4-seat thing, like these event spaces that they have sometime where you got an event space in the middle of a gang neighborhood that shoot out, but you got an event space. Like, who is supposed to support that? Is what I'm saying. To me, that says, okay, you have the mindset and the money and the ambition to have a business, but this is not the right place. You need more research and location, because this ain't going to be $1 million business or even $100,000 business if you think your event space on Ella Street is going to work.
But they have a clientele. So you got to think, yeah, it ain't for everybody, but you have some people who feel like they want to bring businesses to the hood. They want to, and sometimes I feel like it's far-fetched. Like trying to put businesses in the hood, it's going to be years before you really see that transformation. But some people have that mindset of, let's build back up our hood. So I want to put this business here. Or let's put a event space on Ella Street, because guess what? You know, this community is afraid to travel to Center City or afraid to travel to nicer areas. They damn sure afraid to travel over the bridge, but let's give them a space where they can have a nice event in their community and feel comfortable.
So you said the people who scared to leave the hood, let's give them an event space.
Yeah, so I mean, again, it ain't for everybody. The audience ain't everybody, but it's, you know, trying to bring business to the hood and starting one step at a time. What I would have loved if Wallow would have done, you know how like we've been to plenty of comedy shows, and Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle being like two of the major ones that I can think of that does this, where they like put your phones away, like have this conversation heart to heart, and not saying like sugarcoat it, be as harsh as you want, but it don't have to be broadcasted, because sometimes
that's
too,
I don't think he did that.
No, I get it.
That's
I get
not
it.
on his page.
But sometimes too, we don't realize that. And this is being biased, and I agree with that, where it's like we don't realize we're giving other people fuel to their fire about us. That's all. And so some things I feel like keep it in house. Say it as harsh as you need to, but everything don't need, like, you know. And not only that, when you're having these conversations, and I'm sure I would bet, just knowing how he kind of moves, the mentorship is probably available as well. Maybe not from him directly, but from other resources. So that piece to it, instead of just the negative piece, okay, how to help them. Because you're right. Some people want to start a business and it's just like, oh, I got a building. My uncle do drywall. I'm going to get him to paint these walls. We're going to put a cash register in here and some clothing racks, and we ready to go.
Yeah, they're not that simple.
And it's, so
way too early.
It's okay. Help people, you know, with doing inventory, with knowing how to, you know, forecast volumes and that kind of thing. Getting an accountant to pay their taxes. Like, so don't just talk the negative and how they're failing. Help prepare them for success.
But
that's all I'm saying. And again, knowing how he operates or hearing how he operates, I would bet money that piece is probably there too.
Yeah, I mean, he's speaking to a room full of entrepreneurs, and we're talking about Wallow. So that's why I said, as harsh as it came off, I'm going to listen to him because he's made businesses. Yeah. That's his deal. Like, he's did commercials for businesses and pumped businesses, black businesses, to boost up. Because obviously he was like, I'm going to stand behind this. I'm going to put my name behind this because I think, you know, you ready. If 1,000 people come down here and you want to feed them, I think you're ready for it.
And I don't feel like we should be, I don't feel obligated to spend my money with anybody. I don't care who it is. But I will look for, especially when it comes to like,
will you always support a black business? Any black business just because they're black?
No.
Like, will you give them a try just because they're black?
It got to be something that I want.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, obviously, I'm not saying
okay.
you go buy a truck because it was.
No, I was gonna say, like, I'm not going to the crab place. I can't eat crabs.
No, but something that you want. But would you always give the black person an option first?
Depending, because I mean, it got to make sense for me too. Because I mean, this is because, like, in some cases, right, like the price point might be a little bit higher if it's a black business, and I understand because maybe their overhead is different. Maybe they don't have the support or backing like another business has. But at the same time, it has to make sense. If this person's product is $20 and your product is $24. Okay, I might be able to swing. If this person's product is $20 and yours is $44, it gotta make sense from my pockets. I can't support your lifestyle at my own expense, so I'm not going to do that.
If this person is $20, this person is $24, but the $20 one you get in 2 days, the one that's $24, you gotta wait 8 weeks. So that, and again, I remember you saying, "Hey, I've messed with this black business and I ain't get my stuff yet." I remember us going in black businesses that you took us to, and like a Jordan Johnson's, and we sat down and was like, "This is a vibe. This is cool." We've also been in places where we looked at each other like, "No, like this ain't it."
So and so this is the thing, right? To the 2 days, 8 weeks. It also depends on. So true story. I had ordered a birthday gift for my girlfriend. I included some stuff for myself. I ordered it February 2nd, and because her birthday January 29th.
You come in July?
No. I ordered it February 2nd, and I looked on the website and it said, due to the holiday time, shipping is delayed 16 to 22. Items are shipped 16 to 22 business days. But I'm thinking, oh, they just didn't update the website. Holiday time was in December. It's February. It said holiday time 16 to 22 business days. It's not holiday time anymore, so it can't possibly take that long, right? So I'm waiting. So I'm always looking at reviews and stuff or comments. For whatever reason, I didn't do that with this company. I don't know why. Then when I see people like, "Hello, I've been waiting on my order for this long." Somebody's like, "What happened? Da da da." And the company was responding like, "It's being processed, this, that, and the other." So I'm like, oh, wow. So I sent a message like, "Hey, I'm waiting. The website says this is the shipping time for holiday season, but it's not the holiday season.
Where my shit?"
I don't think I got a response. So I commented on the page. I was like, well, Dad, I guess I'll just be ready for my stuff in spring, based on these comments. So the owner or whoever responded was like, put like the side eye was like, "You'll definitely get it before spring. What's your order number?" So I'll give him my order number. Again, no response. So long story short, it took 16 to 22 business days. So again, it's like those little things, and I didn't like leave a bad review. I only told my girlfriend who I bought it for, like, "Look, I love it. It's a great gift, but this is evidence of when you try to support a black business and it go." Now, again, if the expectations had been set and just said 16 to 22 business days, then okay, that's my fault for order. But it says holiday time. We're now in February, so I'm thinking that's how long it takes during that time, not normal, but they say that's normal.
I'm going to have the same reaction in a white place as I am in a black place. If I take my wife out to dinner and we get dressed and we get in a car and drive someplace, I don't want to. We're coming there to sit down so people can wait on us and take care of us because she took care of us all week. So I don't want to participate. I don't want to wait. I'm going to have the same reaction. It's almost like you go in a white establishment and, let's just say for the most part, things are on the up and up. You may have your ups and downs sometimes, but you go in a black new business that we've been in, and like a lot of people in the comments were saying, you wait an hour for your food that you're supposed to get in 10 minutes. And then all you get is, "Hey, we're sorry. We know we're new." And it's like in our establishments, you got to have all this grace all of a sudden and be like, "Okay, I'll eat cold food," or "I'll wait an hour when I'm fucking starving," or "This is my date night and this is the experience we're having," all because We're supporting this black business. And I'm not saying we couldn't go to the white business and get a bad experience too.
But it's less likely. But we also
and when you get it in the black place, you gotta have grace. You can't say, "Hey, this is fucked up." Like, what are y'all doing?
You also have to remember too, when thinking about the majority of like the white establishments that we visit, like the Eddie V's or something like that, they're chains, they're corporate. The machine behind them is so much bigger than. I'm gonna just say there's a local place not far from us. Well, it kind of is now since we moved, but Omega's.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small black-owned business, so I do extend grace to a certain point. Now, you ain't gonna have me in here looking crazy, but I do extend grace to a certain point because of the understanding they don't have this big machine behind them to have, all this. You think about it at the Eddie V's, you got 2 or 3 people that call out for a shift. They got another 30 people they can call and say, "Hey, can you come? Can you come? Can you come?" You look at a place like Omega's, God forbid, COVID run around the restaurant and you get 2 or 3 employees, they might have to close. So it's like, so those are the things when I'm thinking about a black business, because most of the time, if you're talking about a restaurant, it's a small owned business. It's a small black owned business. It's not a corporation. So I do give grace. Now I give grace for some things,
isn't that smart to have a few cooks though? Isn't that smart?
Well, I wasn't talking about a cook. I was talking, a cook, but I was talking about like wait staff or something. It might take a little long because the pool of people. I was thinking
of the person who make the food, because you like, damn, who gonna cook if you?
No, I'm talking about the people that's serving. Like, because again, the pool of people that you may be able to call ain't as big as the staff at a Eddie V's. Now I give grace for some things, logistics. I'm not giving grace to you having a bad attitude or like treating me like it's crazy. And I'm also not giving grace for no, ridiculous prices either. Like, again, I want black businesses to win, but not at my expense. Like, I'm not paying no astronomical
run with me.
On me. Yeah, like, it has to make sense.
And it happens in all the little businesses that you hear about. You look at the comments and they say, "Yo, the black nail girl is a little bit higher. The black the black hair girl is a little bit higher. The black makeup girl is a little bit higher." Like, it's like, why are you trying to, and your demographic is to black women or whatever. Why is it a little bit higher?
Well, okay, so when you say black hair girl, black girls go. Well, you talking about Dominicans? If people going to the Dominican
like
salons,
the hair hustler girl, I'm talking about, like that type of girl who hustling the weaves and wigs too.
Well, they all black girls for the most part that they're buying it from, but they're getting it from vendors. So I mean, I'm not even looking at hair, but when you talk about the nail girls, again, a lot of times you got to look at the demographics.
I remember your experience with the black nail girl,
but I'm talking about price. When you look at the demographic, a lot of times those of different cultures, their cost of living is less. We think about
because they live on top of the store, and
so those kind of things could be different. But what I will say, there are some markets, like when we talk about nails, I tried to support the black nail girls, but again, not at my own expense. It took 6 hours for me, my last time, and it gradually increased the time frame. The last time was 6 hours. You will never play in my face and have me in a nail salon for 6 hours. So that's an example. I can say I tried, and that for me doesn't work, because in the financial part, it wasn't at like.
And that's too long of a period to have grace.
What?
I'm just putting it out there. It's too long of a period to have grace. Or some people would say, "Hey, she might have had a bad day. She might have been stressed with her baby last night. Let's give grace. This ain't going to happen again the next time."
It took 4 hours the time before that. When I went to her 3 times. I don't remember the first time. I think it might have been kind of normal. The second time was like 4 hours. The last time was 6 hours. Like,
and what was the pricing?
The pricing was like standard. Like, I didn't feel like there was no huge disparity in the numbers. But like, okay, somebody we love goes to a black nail girl who's amazing. Her work is amazing. And when I had kind of mentioned one time, like, about the time, they admitted like, well, it does, take about, I think they might have said like 2 hours just to get your nails done. Joe had me in and out of there in maybe an hour and a half if I get my nails and feet done.
So again, that's what I'm. Okay, now you can
So
say
so
in a
for me, I
regular
can't.
Asian nail salon, there might be 15 people on a Saturday doing feet and nails.
10 maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's just say 10, just for nice round numbers. If they can crank out 100 people in that day at $55 of hand or foot, whatever the fucking number you want to use, and then you go to the black business and you gotta wait 4 hours and the same price.
And I get.
And we're all just looking to pick up more time, and it's like now I gotta. That would be like me going to the barbershop and sitting there for 6 hours while I get a haircut.
Yeah,
and it's like, bro, you took my half of my day.
And I get it because I'm not saying I get like they're working. That's just a market for me that I feel like, and I can't speak for all black nail stylists, but I've been to 2 who took very long, and I know this other lady. It's known that she does a good job, but it takes about 2 hours. So for me, I'm like, she's an hour away from me. Get my nails done. That's not even feet. Get my nails done for 2 hours, and then that's too much for me. So again, not at my own expense.
We will continue to support black businesses. We go in black businesses. We eat there. But again, if it wasn't good, if it wasn't up to par, we wouldn't. Just that simple. Like, you're not gonna get my dollar just because you're black. You're black. Like, nah. You could be purple and make great food. We gonna eat there. 3 grams. A photographer deletes wedding pictures because he got hungry in the evening and was denied dinner. So he deleted all the wedding pictures he took all day. Right or wrong?
That's wrong. If there was no promise, if they paid you for the job, right, and there was no promise that you would get a meal. Now, no, don't get me wrong. No,
you can't. Whether it was
can you let me finish?
Okay.
Like, yes, I agree. I do not like, and this happened to me twice this week. As far as work, I do not deny anybody food. You don't know what somebody's situation is. Everybody deserves a meal. But when you are being paid for a service, and you got to think at a wedding, who knows how much, like, some people pay like $100 per plate per person or something. Mm-hmm. If they say, okay, you're going to be the photographer, it costs $500, you come in and do your service, I would think pack you a lunch. Just because, a wedding is a day. Now, it's great if they do offer you a meal, but it's not guaranteed. Maybe that's something that should be asked up front so that you can be aware, because nobody's obligated. It's the nice thing to do. I feel like it's the right thing to do, but nobody's obligated.
I'm deleting them pictures and here go your $500 back.
But now you could get sued for breach of contract.
Here's your $500 back.
But you could get sued for, like, I don't know, they could pain and suffering or something like that.
Pain and suffering? I was fucking starving. My stomach was on my back and you had me on my knee taking the good shots of you.
The contract didn't say we was going to feed you.
We was on the terrace in the cold. I was taking the good shots of you when my eye was watering and my stomach growling. And I couldn't get a slice of meat after y'all ate.
I agree that they should be fed.
Man, look. How do you expect me to react in that type of situation?
I just feel like even when I'm like going to work functions and stuff, I take me, some snacks. If I make, I can buy food if I want, but I don't go into any environment expecting anybody to feed me except my husband.
No, like, I get that, but I'm just saying you're there. There's tons of fucking food. I'm doing this thing. Yeah, I'm being paid. I'm doing this thing. I'm here for 8, 9, 10 hours. I'm on my knees. I'm trying to get shots of everybody. You telling me to go here, stand here, do this again. I'm getting all the things you want. I asked for a fucking plate of food. Maybe a piece of cornbread and a rib, and I can't get nothing.
Well, maybe, how you know it was black people?
Could have been white people. Maybe some casserole and a hot dog. I don't know. I'm just saying. Like, you can't get no food? That's crazy.
I think it is crazy to deny people food. But,
But so if you're a bride and you deny them food and then he say he erased your pictures, are you mad? You tight?
Hell yeah. Well, I'm mad.
How tight you think he was when you say you can't eat? Why is your tightness more than his tightness?
What if okay, we are having our reception at this hall and we have 100 guests and we pay $100 per plate for these guests. So my husband and I were 102. So that's what we paid for our we don't have an extra plate to give you.
After spending what $10,000-$20,000 on a wedding, we don't have an extra $90-$100 to give the photographer.
The kitchen, like we ordered this amount of food, the kitchen doesn't have like.
I don't think it's down to the plate.
I'm just.
I don't think it's down to the plate, Dave. Come on now, how they gonna ration the sides down to the plate?
That's shady, and I don't like it at all. I just don't feel like anybody should be denied a meal. All right, I got a brand. Can I throw one in there? You all right? You know, the church lady finger.
Go last. A woman donated her kidney to her boss, and then her boss got better before her and fired her because she was taking long to recover.
What?
She gave her boss her kidney. He got better, and then he fired her because she took too long to recover and come back to work.
Wow. I'm speechless.
This is why you only should give your kidney to I don't know. Maybe you should keep it. Yeah. Maybe you should keep your kidney.
So let me just play devil's advocate here, right? Being in corporate America.
Talk about breach of contract.
Being in corporate America, right? There are laws when it comes to leave of absence, right? So somebody go out on leave, let's say short term, you have a surgery, short term disability, you get 6 weeks, right? Your doctor can say, oh, they're not really better yet. You get a couple more weeks. Like, let's say your doctor extends it for 4 weeks. Okay, now you're at 10 weeks. The doctor can say, you know what? She's still not really recovered. We're going to give her 2 more weeks. Okay. Again, that's all documented. After that 2 weeks, you could be like, I'm having pains. And the doctor might feel like, we don't think it's still, we think you're okay to go back to work. And you could be like, no, I just don't feel good. And the doctor is not willing to substantiate you continuing to be out. Yeah. But you're like, I don't feel like I can, and I can't come back to work. Then they consider that you abandon your position and that you get fired. So I'm just playing devil's advocate. It could have been a situation like that where, now if it's like a small business where he personally fired, that's some crab stuff. But I'm just thinking, if it's like corporate America, like where I work, that could be a situation that's out of my control.
This is on another level of you. Where's the kind people in the world? You can't give a motherfucker a plate of food. Now somebody gives you a kidney and saves your life, and you take their job because they 2 weeks late for work.
Yeah, that's I mean, again, I was just throwing that scenario out there. I know.
Like, how close were you?
But that's why I'm just throwing that scenario out there. That could be the scenario where he didn't have a choice. Because, again, let's say one of my team members gave me a kidney, and that same scenario played out. HR would be like, that was nice of him, or her, they didn't come back to work. We have to let them go. Yeah,
but this is her boss. So let's say you gave the owner of your place that you work a kidney.
Well, okay.
So the owner...
Well, I'm saying boss. Okay, I'm their boss too, but I still would have to terminate them. Just because it's her boss, it doesn't mean that he's the owner. He could just be her supervisor. Yeah,
true.
So, and that's just on a big level. Now, if it is a small level, again, like the local locksmith shop or something, then, but I'm just thinking that it's for it. You gotta think, how close are y'all for her to give you a kidney and then you fire her? You would think, you probably would tell her, you can retire and I'll still pay you if you got a small, mom and pop business where you have that kind of control.
But you gave me a kidney and I put you in the street.
Yeah.
What's your brand?
Story time. I'm gonna make it quick. Woman gets pregnant. Wasn't sure if it was her and her husband, I guess, were on a break or something. Maybe she just cheated. I don't know. She wasn't sure if it was her husband's or not, so she got a DNA test. DNA test came back that it was not her husband's. So she decided to get an abortion. Mm-hmm. She not only did she decide to get an abortion, she ended up getting divorced because now her husband knows. I guess she told him. Fast forward, the lab calls and says, "Oh, we made a mistake. It was a switch up. It was your husband's." But now the baby's gone, the
Husband's
marriage is
gone.
gone. What do you do?
What do I do as who?
Well, as the husband, I guess your wife still cheated because
Yeah,
it was
I
a
about to
question
say,
about
there's
the
nothing-
baby.
Exactly.
So it's nothing for
If
you.
you went through DNA tests and all that, and we questioned, and I left over that, then that's what I left over. The fact that it was happened to go in reverse and it wasn't that case, you still cheated. We still had question about who the kid was, which is probably the worst infidelity you can have in a relationship. Is the person getting pregnant and not knowing if it's yours or your dude that you're cheating with.
Yeah.
If you cheating and you say it's his, okay, or you say it's mine, okay, but if you like, I don't know, that's like, what the fuck? That's like next level. Like, what the fuck? Was we both in the same day?
Well, I mean, you could have been close.
I'm just saying, that's crazy. Like, again, if you like, damn, I'm fucked up. She cheated, but if she told me the baby his, or she told me the baby mine, and I got a firm decision to make. But you talking about my wife says she cheated and she don't know who the baby is.
Do you think she got a leg to stand on as far as legal repercussions with the lab?
No.
Because they caused her to kill her baby with the wrong information.
Well, that's hindsight, because who knows if she would have did it if she knew it was her husband's.
Well, she said she only did it because it wasn't her husband.
She say that now.
Mm.
She say that now. That's you don't know what that is. In hindsight, I would say that too. So it looks like it's in favor of me.
Okay, flip. Another story. A woman was pregnant. Her husband she did not cheat. She knew it was her husband's, but he requested a DNA test. Just, I don't know, maybe he had suspicions, whatever. She got the DNA test. It came back as positive, and she served him divorce papers because she felt like, I guess, embarrassed, like, you don't trust me, like, why would you do this? Do you think she took it too far?
Yeah, she definitely took it too far. And that's a thing, and I'm going to say this real quickly. It's a thing where I was reading a story about this where lots of men are, the thing is now is not to sign birth certificates and get DNA tests. Even if you're sure it's your daughter, even if you're positive that it's your child. Get a DNA test just to have it on record that she is yours. And don't...
The child, why you keep saying she?
Well, the child, because I have a daughter, that's probably why. That the kid is yours. But don't sign birth certificates, because there were stories of guys who, hey, I've been taking care of this kid for 16 years and come to find out he not mine. Or let's just say 12 years and he not mine, but because you signed a birth certificate, you're legally obligated to keep paying child support. And it's a big fucking loophole to get out of that. So guys are recognizing that from this generation and saying, hey, I'm not signing birth certificates, and we're getting a DNA test.
I think a DNA test should be required from the jump for all, just to avoid, you know, those situations. I definitely think, unless there's like some acknowledgement of, you know, this baby came through like some foreign sperm, like fertility treatments or something, like there needs to be a DNA test for all babies that are born, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
A2TP podcast, episode 223. It's a wrap. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, Podchaser, Google Podcasts, Player FM. Type us in. Like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, all that good stuff. Look at her story, look at my story. It's always something in there to look at. If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't,
you should.
Peace.